The Story of a Marmaid. Episode 5. Story by Truth Be Told. Jai's soul burned inside him. Power rushed through his veins, washing away the emptiness that had trapped him for so long. He was no longer a shadow. No longer lost. He was whole. And now, he was angry. Yemaya stepped back, her liquid form shifting like a stormy tide. "You have made a mistake, mortal," she hissed. The ocean rippled. The water around her darkened, swirling like ink. "You were supposed to be nothing. Now, I will make sure you are." She raised her hand. The sea shook. The three monstrous guardians, the creatures of shadow and water, lunged at Jide again. But this time, Jide did not run. The unleashing. The moment the first beast reached him, Jide moved. His body felt lighter, faster, like he was part of the ocean itself. The creature swiped its claws at him. But Jide was already gone, twisting through the water like a blade cutting through silk. His hand lashed out, glowing with the same golden light as his restored soul. The creature howled as Jide's touch burned through its shadowy form. And then, it vanished into mist. The second beast struck from behind. Jide spun, catching its arm mid-swipe. The moment he touched it, a pulse of light spread from his fingers. And the beast shattered. The last creature froze, sensing something new in Jide. Something dangerous. It tried to retreat, but Jide grabbed it by the throat. He squeezed. The beast screamed, its form melting away like steam in the wind. Silence fell. The ocean stilled. Jide turned his eyes to Yemaya. Her face twisted in rage. "You dare challenge me?" she roared. "I am Yemaya, the keeper of the depths. The mother of souls." The sea trembled. A whirlpool began forming around her, its pull strong enough to drag entire ships into the abyss. But Jide did not waver. For the first time, he saw the truth. Yemaya was not all-powerful. She was a thief, feeding on the stolen souls of others. And now, he had his own power. The final confrontation. Jide raised his hand. The golden light of his soul flared, brighter than the deepest ocean currents. Yamaja's whirlpool faltered. "This ends today." Jide's voice was calm. He stepped forward, and the ocean parted for him. Yamaja's eyes widened. For the first time in centuries, she felt fear. Jide lifted his hand higher, and the light of his soul exploded outward. The trapped souls around them stirred. Not just his. All of them. The millions of souls Yemaya had taken over the years, all whispering, all waking. And one by one, they began to rise. Their glow filled the ocean, like thousands of stars in the depths. Yemaya staggered back. No. She reached out, trying to hold them, trying to stop them from leaving. But they were slipping from her grasp. And as they broke free, her form began to crumble. The shadows that made her unraveled. The currents she controlled collapsed. She let out a final, piercing scream. And then, Yemaya, the mighty keeper of the depths, the stealer of souls, the mother of the ocean, vanished. The silence after the storm. Jide floated in the calm, glowing ocean. The golden light of the freed souls danced around him. One by one, they bowed their heads, whispering their thanks. And then, like falling stars, they ascended into the unknown, finally finding peace. Jide closed his eyes. He was free. But his journey was not over. Because somewhere in this vast, untamed ocean, Mami Wada was waiting. And now, he was ready to face her. The path to the Serpent Queen. Jide floated in the silent ocean, the golden light of the freed souls fading into the abyss. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, the waters around him were still. No voices whispered. No unseen hands reached for him. Yemaya was gone. But the ocean was not empty. He could feel it. Something else. Something far more powerful waiting in the depths. Marmaid. She had called him here. She had watched him suffer. She had tested him, letting Yemaya torment him, watching if he would break. Now, he had survived. And she was waiting. Jait clenched his fists. You wanted me, Marmaid. He whispered. Then here I come. The river of forgotten gods. The ocean shifted. A path opened before him. A dark current, stretching into the unknown. Jait hesitated. He knew the stories. No one who had taken this path had ever returned. But he was not afraid. He swam forward. The moment he entered the current, the world changed. The water turned thick, like liquid night, swallowing all light. The deeper he went, the heavier the ocean became, pressing against his skin, his bones. Then, the whispers returned. Turn back, Jide. You do not belong here. She is waiting for you. She will not let you go. Jide ignored them. Then, he saw them. Figures in the darkness. They were not human. Their faces were elongated, their eyes like endless pools of black water. Some had serpent tails, others had webbed hands, their skin shimmering like fish scales. These were forgotten gods, spirits lost to time, trapped between realms, unable to return to the land of men or the world of the dead. One reached for him. Jide jerked away. The creature hissed, its face twisting with hunger. Give us your soul, mortal. We are starving. Jide pushed forward, his heart pounding. The deeper he went, the more of them appeared, their hands stretching, their voices pleading. Stay with us. She will destroy you. You cannot escape her. Jide gritted his teeth. Watch me. Then, suddenly, the river ended. Jide emerged into an open space, a place where the ocean was no longer water but something alive. A palace rose before him, carved from the bones of giant sea creatures, its walls pulsing with energy. And at the center, a throne of black coral. And on it, Marmaid. The first glance at the Serpent Queen. She was unlike anything he had ever seen. Her body shimmered like the scales of a snake, her hair moving like living water, shifting between curls and serpents. Her skin was the color of the deepest ocean, her eyes glowing with a silver light. She smiled, and Jide felt his breath catch. Not from fear, but because she was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. You have come far, mortal. Her voice was soft, but it filled the ocean like thunder. You have done what no other has done. Jide stared at her. This was her world. She was not just a spirit. She was the queen of the ocean, the mother of secrets, the guardian of the deep. Why? Jide asked. Why did you bring me here? Marmaid's smile deepened. Because you are mine now, Jide. The ocean shuddered. And Jide knew. His true test was only just beginning. The price of her gaze. Jide stood before Marmaid, his heart pounding like a war drum. The ocean around her moved with her breath, shifting between calm and chaos. She did not blink. She did not breathe like humans do. She simply existed, as if the ocean itself had taken a form that could speak. You are mine now, Jide. Her words were not a question. They were a command. Jide clenched his fists. I did not come here to belong to anyone. Marmaid tilted her head, her silver eyes gleaming. Didn't you? Jide felt his chest tighten. Her voice was inside him, wrapping around his thoughts like unseen hands. You ran from the world above. You swam into the unknown. You survived what should have killed you. And now you stand before me, thinking you still have a choice. Jide swallowed hard. I came to find the truth. Marmaid lips curled into a smile. And what truth do you seek? Jide exhaled. Who are you? The moment he spoke, the ocean trembled. The water around them darkened, shifting like shadows. Then, Jide was no longer there. Visions of the Serpent Queen. Suddenly, Jide stood on the shore of a river he had never seen before. The air smelled of salt and rain, the wind carrying the whispers of things unseen. A village lay in the distance, small, but full of life. Jide turned and froze. There, at the edge of the river, stood a woman. She had the same silver eyes, the same flowing hair, the same unshaken presence. But she was human, not a spirit, not a goddess, just a woman in a deep blue wrapper, her feet sinking into the soft river mud. She was a marmaid. Before she was a legend. Before she became a spirit. She was one of them. A human. The betrayal of the river. Jide watched as the villagers approached her. Their faces were filled with both awe and fear. "You are cursed," one of the elders said. "The river listens to you. It moves when you move. It rises when you are angry. This is not natural." The woman she once was, did not speak. She simply watched them. Another man stepped forward, his voice trembling. "You are not one of us. Leave." The villagers turned against her, their fear outweighing their love for her. They chased her to the edge of the river. They threw stones. They called her a demon. And when she did not run, they pushed her in. Jide gasped as the water swallowed her whole, her scream lost to the roaring river. The sky darkened. The wind howled. The river rose, twisting into something alive, something angry. The villagers screamed, but it was too late. The river took everything. Homes, crops, families. The entire village was wiped from existence. And in its place, the first whispers of Marmaid began. Jide gasped as he was pulled back into the present. The visions vanished. He was back in the deep ocean, standing before her throne, Marmaid watching him with unreadable eyes. "Now you know," she whispered. Jide's chest heaved. "You were one of us. A human." Marmaid eyes flashed. "I was betrayed. I was drowned by those I once called my own. But the river did not let me die." She leaned forward. "It gave me power. It made me more." Jide felt cold. This was not just a spirit. This was a woman who had been wronged. A woman who had become something greater to take back what was stolen from her. Marmaid stood, her form shifting, the ocean itself bending to her will. "Now, tell me, Jide." Her voice was soft, but it carried weight. "Do you still believe you are here by accident?" Jide's breath caught. Because now, he wasn't sure anymore. Jide stood frozen, Marmaid words echoing in his mind. "Do you still believe you are here by accident?" The ocean around them was unnaturally still, as if waiting for his answer. Jide clenched his fists. I don't know why I'm here," he admitted. Marmaid's silver eyes gleamed. "Then let me show you." Without warning, she raised her hand. And the water swallowed him whole. The depths of memory. Jide felt himself falling. But not through water. Through time. Through memories that were not his own. He saw flashes of villages, some flourishing, others drowning beneath raging floods. He saw men and women kneeling by the river, offering gold, fruits, and even their firstborn children to the water. He saw Marmaid, sometimes appearing as a goddess, sometimes as a monster, and sometimes, just as a woman with sorrow in her eyes. Then, Jide saw himself. A forgotten truth. A baby floated in the river. Not drowning. Not struggling. Just waiting. And the water cradled him like a mother holding her child. A woman waded into the river, tears streaming down her face. She was his mother. Jide's chest tightened. She held him close, whispering, "I'm sorry, my son." Behind her, a man, his father, stood on the shore, his face hard with fear. "We cannot keep him. He is marked. The river has already claimed him." Jide's mother sobbed. "No, he is our child." But his father shook his head. "He belongs to the water now." Jide's heart pounded. "No. This isn't real." But the memory did not stop. His mother kissed his forehead one last time. And let him go. Jide screamed. And then he was back. Face to face with fate. Jide collapsed to his knees, gasping for breath. The visions were gone, but their weight remained heavy in his chest. He was never abandoned. He was given away. To her. To a Marmaid. Slowly, he raised his eyes to meet hers. Marmaid stood before him, her silver eyes unreadable. Now you understand, she said. Jide's voice was raw. I was chosen. Marmaid nodded. You are of the river, Jide. You always have been. His mind raced. His entire life. His struggles, his strange connection to water, his ability to survive where others could not. It all made sense now. He had spent his life running from something he had never truly escaped. Then what do you want from me? He asked. Marmaid stepped closer, lifting his chin with a single finger. I want you to embrace what you were always meant to be. The ocean stirred. The waves rose. And Jide felt something deep within him shift. For the first time, he did not feel like an intruder in the water. For the first time, he felt at home. The river's claim. Jide's heart pounded as Mami Wada's words settled deep in his chest. You were always meant to be one of us. The ocean swayed around them, responding to her presence, and his. Jide took a step back, his mind racing. No, he muttered. I am human. I have a life. I have a past. Mami Wada's silver eyes darkened. Your past was never truly yours. It was borrowed. A life stolen from the river. And now, she raised her hand. It is time to return. The call of the ocean. Jide felt something pulling him. Not his body, his soul. It was like the ocean itself had fingers, reaching into him, wrapping around his heart, dragging him home. He gasped, trying to fight it. No, I have a family, a life. Marmaid tilted her head. Do you? The waves around them rippled. And suddenly, Jide saw visions. His mother, staring into the river every night, her face filled with regret. His father, whispering to himself, he was never ours to keep. His friends, his home, all fading away. As if they had only ever been a temporary shelter from the truth. Jide fell to his knees. No. No, this isn't real. Marmaid knelt before him, her voice softer now. You have always heard the water calling, haven't you? Jide swallowed. I don't want this. Her hand brushed his cheek, cold, yet comforting. You never had a choice, my child. Jide squeezed his eyes shut, his breath shaking. The truth was too heavy. He was never meant to walk the land. He was meant to belong to the river. To her. The ocean roared, waiting. Marmaid stood, her form glowing with the power of the water. Embrace who you are, Jide. Or fight a battle you cannot win. Jide's fists clenched. His entire life had been a lie. A borrowed existence. But was he ready to give up everything? To surrender to the call of the water? His next choice would decide everything. Between two worlds, Jide stood at the edge of a choice that would change his fate forever. The waves around him rose and fell, waiting. Marmaid's silver eyes bore into his soul. You belong to the water, Jide. Accept it. Jide clenched his fists. And if I refuse? Marmaid lips curled into a knowing smile. Then you will suffer a life of emptiness. You will never truly belong. The land will reject you, just as the water once did. The wind howled. The sea shifted. Jide's body felt heavy, as if something deep inside him was already making the decision for him. Memories of the river. Visions flashed before his eyes. A childhood of strange dreams, of the ocean calling his name. The times he almost drowned, but the water always carried him to safety. The way he could predict storms, feel the pull of the tides, understand the whispers of the waves. It had always been there. A connection he ignored. Jide's breath trembled. But I'm human. I grew up on land. I have a life. Marmaid tilted her head. A life that was never truly yours. Jait shut his eyes. His mother's regret. His father's fear. His own longing for something he could never explain. Everything made sense now. If I accept, what happens to me? Marmaid stepped closer, her fingers trailing along his arm. You will become what you were always meant to be. One with the water. A son of the river. Jait's heart pounded. And if I don't? Marmaid's expression darkened. Then the river will take what belongs to it, one way or another. A massive wave rose behind her, towering like a wall of fate. Jait had one last chance. One last moment to decide. To embrace his true nature. Or to fight a battle he could never win. Jait's heart pounded. The wind howled, and the ocean roared like a beast waiting to swallow him whole. Marmaid stood before him, her silver eyes filled with patience, but also warning. Choose, Jait. The river will not wait forever. Jait's mind raced. He wanted to say no. He wanted to turn and run. But deep down, he knew, there was no escaping this. Still, he clenched his fists and met her gaze. I don't want this life. I am not one of you. For the first time, Marmaid's expression hardened. The waves surged. The sky darkened. The air became thick, suffocating. You refuse your true nature? She asked, her voice dangerously calm. Jait swallowed hard but stood his ground. I refuse. The wrath of the river. A deafening crack split the air. The sea erupted, waves crashing violently around them. Jait stumbled as the water dragged at his legs, wrapping around him like unseen hands. He gasped, struggling, but the current tightened its grip. Marmaid did not move. She watched, unblinking. The river does not take rejection lightly, Jait. The water surged up his chest, his neck. Jait's breath came in panicked gasps. Help me, he choked. Marmaid remained still. This is what happens when you deny the truth. Jait's vision blurred. The water was pulling him down, deeper, colder. The last thing he saw was Marmaid's silver eyes watching him sink. Darkness. Jait's lungs burned. His limbs felt weightless. And then, everything changed. He was no longer drowning. He was breathing. The water around him felt like air, flowing easily through his body. Jait gasped. He was alive. But something was different. His hands, glowing with faint blue light. His body, lighter, stronger. Jait looked around. He was no longer in the stormy sea. He was somewhere deeper. Somewhere ancient. And before him, standing tall in the endless blue, was Marmaid. Welcome home, my son. The awakening. Jait's breath came in sharp gasps, but there was no air, only water. Yet, somehow, he was breathing. His chest rose and fell as if he were on land, but every part of him knew he was deep beneath the ocean. He looked down at his hands. They glowed faintly, a soft blue light pulsing beneath his skin. His legs, they felt different. Lighter. Stronger. He reached out, expecting to move sluggishly through the water, but his arms cut through it with unnatural ease. Everything felt new. Different. Wrong. His heart pounded. No, he whispered, though the sound rippled through the water like an echo. Marmaid stood before him, her silver eyes gleaming. You have crossed the threshold, Jait. There is no turning back now. A new body, a new life. Jait looked around. The water was endless, stretching in every direction like a vast blue sky. Strange lights flickered in the distance, illuminating the deep. The ocean floor beneath him was not the dark, lifeless pit he had always imagined. It was alive. Coral structures rose like palaces from the seabed. Schools of fish darted through the water in perfect harmony. Glowing jellyfish drifted by, leaving trails of light. And then Jait saw them. Others. Figures like him, with glowing skin, smooth movements, and eyes that shimmered like moonlight. They watched him with quiet curiosity, whispering in voices that carried through the currents. Gide's breath hitched. What am I? Marmaid floated toward him. You have become what you were always meant to be. She reached out and touched his chest. A sudden rush of energy flooded through him. Gide's eyes widened as memories, not his own, flashed through his mind. A child born near the river, stolen by humans before he could be claimed. A mother, a water spirit, mourning his loss. A destiny that had waited for him all these years. His body trembled. No, this isn't real. I don't belong here. Marmaid smiled sadly. You have always belonged here, my son. A world he cannot escape. Gide kicked his legs, trying to swim upward, toward the surface, toward the life he knew. But the ocean did not let him go. The more he struggled, the heavier the water became, pressing him down, binding him to this world. He gasped, panic rising. Marmaid's voice was calm but firm. The land has rejected you, Gide. You are no longer one of them. Gide's chest tightened. No. He refused to believe it. He refused to accept it. But deep down, something inside him whispered the truth. He was no longer human. And he would never be again. No way back. Gide kicked, thrashed, and fought against the water, desperate to reach the surface. But the ocean held him captive. It was not like before, when he swam as a boy, feeling light and free. Now, the water pulled him down, as if unseen hands wrapped around his ankles, dragging him deeper into the unknown. His heart pounded. This can't be happening. He turned to Marmaid, his eyes wild with fear. Let me go, he shouted, though the words rippled strangely through the water. Marmaid remained calm, her silver eyes watching him with patience. You do not belong to the land anymore, Gide. You have been reclaimed. Gide shook his head furiously. No, this is not my home. I have a life up there. Marmaid's gaze darkened. Do you? Suddenly, the water around Gide shimmered, shifting like a moving mirror. He gasped as visions of the world above unfolded before him. His mother, sitting in their small house, sobbing into her hands. His father, pacing, shaking his head, saying, maybe it's for the best. His friends, going about their lives, not even searching for him. The town moving on, as if he had never existed. Gide's chest tightened. No, they wouldn't just forget me. Marmaid's voice was soft, yet firm. The land has rejected you. You were never meant to be there. Gide trembled. Was it true? Had he always been an outsider in the world above? He had always felt different. The river had always called to him. And now, that same river had claimed him. Still, he refused to accept it. I won't stay here. Marmaid sighed. You still resist. She lifted a hand. The water around them shifted, forming a swirling tunnel leading upward, to the surface, to the land, to the life Gide once knew. Hope flared in his chest. Go, Marmaid said. If you can reach the shore, you are free. Gide didn't wait. He launched himself into the tunnel, swimming faster than he ever had in his life. The water rushed past him. The surface grew closer. He could almost taste the air. Almost feel the sun. But then, pain. A sharp, crushing pain in his chest. Gide gasped, but no air came, only burning, searing agony. His body convulsed. His limbs stiffened. The surface was right there, but something inside him was breaking apart. A deep, haunting voice echoed in his mind. The land will never accept you again. His vision blurred. His body collapsed. And then, darkness. When Gide opened his eyes, he was back beneath the ocean. Marmaid stood over him, watching. Gide's chest heaved as he tried to breathe through the pain. Why? He choked. Marmaid knelt beside him, brushing wet hair from his forehead like a mother comforting a lost child. Because you are no longer human, my son. The land will never let you return. A single tear slipped from Jaid's eye, but it did not fall. It became one with the water. And at that moment, he knew. There was no way out. Jaid floated in the endless blue, staring at nothing. His chest was hollow. His mind was numb. The truth had shattered him. I can never go back. The words echoed in his head, each one like a knife cutting deeper into his soul. Marmaid had told him the truth. The land had rejected him. He had seen it with his own eyes. His family, his friends, his town. They had moved on without him. Even if he tried again, even if he fought to reach the shore, his body would fail him. Because he was no longer one of them. He had become something else. Something not human. And so, in that moment, Jaid made a decision. He let go. Let go of his past. Let go of his name. Let go of who he used to be. Jaid, the fisherman's son, was dead. A new name, a new fate. Mami Wada watched as the change took place. She saw the light in Jaid's eyes flicker, then fade, replaced by something new. Acceptance. Good, she whispered, placing a gentle hand on his forehead. As she did, the ocean itself responded. The water around him shifted, pulsed, and glowed. His body transformed. The last traces of his humanity melted away. His skin darkened, shimmering with hints of silver. His legs fused together, lengthening, stretching into something sleek and powerful. His lungs adjusted, no longer gasping for air, but drinking in the water like it was his lifeblood. And then, a mark appeared on his chest. A swirling symbol that glowed faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Marmaid smiled. You are reborn. Jaid, no, not Jaid anymore, lifted his hands, staring at them. His fingers were longer, sharper. He clenched his fists, feeling strength unlike anything he had ever known. His body no longer fought against the water, it moved with it. For the first time, he felt like he belonged. But even as he embraced this new existence, a single question burned in his mind. What am I now? The sea's answer. Marmaid tilted her head, as if listening to the ocean's whispers. Then, she spoke. You are one of us now. A child of the deep. A guardian of the waters. The words sent a shiver through him. A guardian, he echoed. Marmaid nodded. You were never meant for the land, my child. You were always meant to be something greater. The ocean has chosen you. She placed a hand over his heart. And now, you must choose it in return. Jaid hesitated. He had no home to return to. No past to hold on to. But this was real. This was his future. His gaze hardened. Slowly, he nodded. I accept. Marmaid eyes gleamed. The ocean around them stirred. A new life had begun. And Jaid, the boy who had once been human, had been erased forever. Jaid's transformation was complete. He was no longer human. No longer tied to the land. He belonged to the sea now, and the sea had accepted him. But one thing remained. You are reborn, but you are not yet ready, Marmaid said, watching him closely. Jaid frowned. What do you mean? Marmaid gestured toward the deep, dark waters beyond them. To truly become one of us, you must face the ocean's test. Only then will the sea call you its own. Jaid's heart tightened. A test. Hadn't he already suffered enough? Hadn't he already given up everything? Marmaid smiled knowingly, as if she could hear his thoughts. The ocean does not give without taking first. You want power, freedom, a new life. Then prove yourself worthy of it. The water around them shifted, swirling with unseen energy. Jaid took a deep breath. He had no other choice. What must I do? The depths await. Marmaid raised her hand, and suddenly, The ocean opened. Before Jide, the water split into a spiraling tunnel, leading into darkness. Cold, silent, endless darkness. You must enter the abyss. Jide's breath hitched. Even though he was no longer human, a chill ran through him. The abyss. Marmaid nodded. The place where the forgotten ones dwell. Where the ocean hides its secrets. Where lost souls drift, never to return. Jide swallowed. And what am I supposed to do there? Marmaid's voice was soft, yet firm. Survive. Then, without another word, she pushed him in. Falling into darkness. Jide didn't have time to scream. One moment, he was floating beside Marmaid. The next, he was plunging downward, deeper and deeper into the endless void. The water around him grew thick, heavy, suffocating. There was no light, no sound, only the crushing weight of the deep. Jide thrashed, trying to find direction, trying to move. But the water felt alive. It clawed at him, pulled at him, whispered to him, "Turn back. You do not belong here. This is where the dead remain." Jide clenched his fists. "No, I will not be trapped here." But then, something moved in the darkness. Something big. Something hungry. A shadow shifted ahead, massive and slow. Jide froze. And then, a pair of glowing red eyes snapped open. A deep, bone-chilling growl rumbled through the abyss. Jide's blood turned cold. He was not alone. The beast of the abyss. Jide couldn't move. The glowing red eyes locked onto him, burning through the darkness. The water vibrated as the creature stirred, its massive form shifting in the shadows. A slow, deep rumble echoed through the abyss, making Jide's chest tighten. Then, the darkness moved. A shape unfolded, stretching, uncoiling. Jide barely had time to react before something long and powerful shot toward him. A tentacle. It whipped through the water like lightning, aiming straight for his chest. Jide dodged, barely. The force of the attack sent shockwaves through the water, nearly knocking him backward. His heart pounded. What is this thing? Then, from the shadows, the creature emerged. The terror of the deep. Jide's stomach dropped. It was huge. A monstrous being, its body covered in slimy, pulsating black skin. Tentacles stretched outward, each one covered in glowing red symbols. And its face. Jide had never seen anything so terrifying. It had no mouth, no nose, only two massive eyes, burning like fire, watching him with something that felt like hunger. And then, it attacked. A battle in the dark. Jide had no time to think. The creature lunged, its tentacles whipping toward him from all directions. He dodged the first, then the second, but the third one slammed into his side, sending him tumbling through the water. Pain shot through him. He tried to swim upward, but the abyss was too thick, too heavy. The creature closed in. Jide's vision blurred. He needed to fight back. But how? He was nothing compared to this beast. He had no weapons, no power, just his will to survive. But then, something clicked inside him. A new instinct. A voice in his mind whispered, "You are no longer human. Stop fighting like one." Jide's eyes widened. And then, something inside him awoke. The power of the sea. The water around Jide shifted. His body glowed, pulsing with silver light. The moment the creature's tentacle came for him again, Jide didn't dodge. He caught it. The beast shuddered, recoiling in pain. Jide felt something flow through him, powerful, ancient, unstoppable. The ocean was no longer fighting against him. It was with him. And for the first time, Jide felt fearless. He clenched his fist. "Let's see what I can really do." The awakening. Jide's grip tightened around the beast's tentacle. For the first time, he felt no fear. The creature howled, a deep, unnatural sound that shook the abyss. It tried to pull away, but Jide held on. Something inside him had changed. He was no longer a helpless man, lost in the depths. He was something more. The ocean's power flowed through his veins. The sea was his ally. And the beast was his prey. The power of the ocean. Jaide's body glowed brighter, silver light pulsating through the water. His fingers dug into the creature's slimy skin, and for a brief moment, he felt its essence. Its fear. Its anger. Its hunger. But Jaide was no longer a victim. With a mighty pull, he yanked the tentacle forward. And punched straight through it. The beast screamed. Dark blood burst into the water, swirling around them like ink. Jaide let go, his heart pounding. I can do this. The monster reeled back, its glowing red eyes flickering. It had never faced something like him before. A man who was no longer a man. A man who belonged to the sea. The beast hesitated for just a moment. And Jaide struck. With the speed of a tidal wave, he surged forward, dodging the remaining tentacles. The ocean moved with him, guiding him, strengthening him. He clenched his fist, summoning all the power inside him, and drove his hand into the beast's chest. A shockwave rippled through the water. The creature's eyes widened. Its body shuddered. Then, it collapsed. The abyss fell silent. Jaide floated above the lifeless body, his breath heavy. He had done it. He had defeated the beast of the abyss. But before he could even process his victory, the ocean shifted. A force pulled him upward, faster than he could control. The abyss blurred around him, fading into light. And then, he broke through the surface. Jaide gasped, sucking in a deep breath. The sky stretched above him, the waves gentle around him. He was back. And waiting for him was Marmaid.